It's a beautiful day, and we're happy to say everyone in the place has a smile on their face. We're glad we're all here, and we're sorry you're there. 'Cause if you were with us, we know you'd be happy to be happy too. What's up, everybody? It's me today, and I'm here with a message for you. And that was the channeled song that I heard as soon as I sat down to push record. Very strange, but it's from an episode. If you're not particularly culture 80s culture savvy, I should say, that was an episode from the Cosby Show when Rudy had this story. The whole episode was a story that she wrote about these two different worlds, this fantasy story about these two different worlds. And there was one like really like Happy World. I forget what it was called, like Happy Land or something. I forget. And then there was like the polar opposite, which was this evil land that came and infiltrated and took over their world. And it was just such a classic episode that I remember having on VHS, and I used to watch it over and over again. And that was the song that was their national song or their state song, whatever the hell they were. It was their song, and that was Claire singing that. So if you remember, then I'm sure you know exact. Oh, okay. Of course, I'm not going to take that, but that's so funny, right? What I'm talking about. Ten of Pentacles, legacy, dynasty, definitely some happy ending vibes right there. And in the end, Rudy definitely was like the catalyst that brought peace into the land. Like if you remember that episode, the story just ended with her saying, "Stop it." And then Claire and Heathcliff and Dr. Huxtable were like, "Is that it? Like, is that all that it took?" And that was the end of her story. That it just took as simple as just stop it. Her proclamation, her not just a proclamation, but her command, let's say command as a matter of fact. Oh man, that's okay, Spirit. Like I thought I was singing the song. Okay. Never that though, right? Never really that. But maybe perhaps that's the call to power that we are to activate in this time, to just tell some things and some places and some people to just stop it. Just cut it out. Enough is enough already. Seriously. But yeah, anyway, if I can find that clip, I'll definitely link it down below in the comments, and I'll post it on the community tab. But anyway, I hope you're having a wonderful day. Today is, Thursday? I think it's Thursday. Yeah, it's Thursday. I hope you're doing well. I mean, what more else can I say other than all of that? The song actually speaks for itself quite a bit. It's a beautiful day. And I'm happy to say that everyone in the place of my energetic force field has a smile on their face. Anybody that approaches and is so graced to enter, certainly if you didn't come with a smile, you're definitely going to leave with one, okay? But for sure, if you are not privy to that energy, I'm sorry you're there. Because if you were with us, we know you'd be happy too. Seven of Pentacles is about investments. Yeah, it's like you got to cultivate. And it's interesting. Now, we really finna go through this whole episode. Some people might not have seen this, Spirit, but they used to have this crop in this same episode. They had this like, the crop of their land was called flubaroos. And they kind of look like this, as a matter of fact, like little pucks or pentacles, made up, of course, the fantasy of the whole story. but that was what they harvested in their land, and this what they ate, but also like, it was kind of like their currency to some degree too. It was like their cash crop. That's what it is, so to speak. So here's that right here with the Seven of Pentacles. Now, some people, depending on what seeds you're sowing, have a plentiful harvest, a supreme cash crop that can, again, not just be nourishment for the land, but also be currency, to export out, so to speak, has great value even beyond the land. And then some people that necessarily, the characters, particularly from the Badlands, I forget the name of their place, but they didn't really have much going for themselves but magic, sorcery, and evil intentions. So they literally were just going around from town to town or place to place seeking what they could conquer and devour. And, that's hence why they took over the territory and was eating up all the crops. I think in one part of that episode, like, they couldn't keep enough crops grown, or the crops started to fail to some degree. And of course, we can see that energetically in hindsight. Now, of course, I was just a kid watching the story, but in hindsight, it's because of that energy field that was projected into the land. Everything started going sour. It wasn't a happy town anymore. Even the people weren't singing the way that they used to, and the crops weren't growing as plentiful as they were. And it was just problem after problem on account of this negative vibration that had kind of swept into their town. Same with our own, practically today. You could even plant the most sufficient seed, at least, something that you are having anticipation to grow. But if the intentions that are cultivated within that harvesting, or that sowing, I should say, are not pure, i.e. the water, the spirit, or even if there's no light, no natural light, sunlight for a crop that needs it, it still won't yield what its full potential may be. And that's the adverse energy here, where some people are content with what they've harvested and content to continue to sow and, until their satisfaction. And for the long haul also is the highest vibration of this card, where there is an intention for long-term investment. It's practical, and it's what's the right word? It's profitable enough that you see the value in continuing to sow, believing in that idea, believing in that vision, believing in the business that you've created, perhaps even a business that, you've been plugging away at for a while, but it has a great satisfaction to your passion and what you feel is your purpose. So you continue to invest in it, believing that crop is going to yield, in dividends any day now. That's a different type of sowing, even when you don't see the physical evidence and manifestation of it, because it's connected to your passion. But the adverse, of course, is true. When you keep doing the same thing over and over again and expecting different results, you kind of have to take inventory, and it's not satisfying. Let's add that part of it in as well. There's no true gratification, or at least no lasting gratification in it. You kind of have to decide, like, is it even worth continuing to sow, continuing to cultivate? And that's people, places, things, ideas, all nature, in spirit and in truth. Taking inventory over your harvest in real time, and making adjustments or releases as necessary, okay? That's so funny that came up today. I haven't thought about that episode in years. And I wasn't going to sing it either, because I know how it is to be singing in the videos, not everybody's down with that. But here is the Four of Wands, which is the balance. Here's that negative vibration on the outside looking in. What's this? Ace of Wands. This is the energy that was infused, that either was infused or is being magnetized by this Four of Wands energy here, where there's stability, there's harmony. This is that town. The 10 of Pentacles definitely gives me that, especially with the 7 when I said that was their crop. So the fact that that flipped out the way that it did at first makes a lot of sense. But this speaks to the energetic force field of that physical place. You know what I mean? Like that's the 10 of Pentacles, and even the 7 speaks to the prosperity of the place in a material, measurable form. This is the vitality measured by this pure passion, inspiration, ambition that is tempered, that's not just blind ambition and with no regard for, how you obtain a particular desirable outcome, not the conquering, say, of, look, even with this energy, it's like not the conquering. It could be a conquering energy, like an over exertion of power when it's paired with the devil. Certainly when it's a projection of a demonic force or a diabolical force. But in its pure essence, there ain't nothing wrong with a little bit of passion, or a lot of bit of passion, I guess I should say. But these two together, though, actually, I'm going to stop for a second, because this is like, these two is like devil D, and maybe not in the physical sense, but being a little bit overzealous in your desires for sensual satisfaction. And this is definitely pervert. This, I say it often, is about the difference with the Ace of Wands is between pure passion and perverted passion. This is definitely perverted passion with this energy here. By itself, certainly not, but this connection here is the adverse energy of a place here where they only have 4 wands, but within, and it was like a simple little town in the story. They had their flubaroos, and they had, their songs, and they liked to sing, and the sun was always shining, and they stayed very upbeat, but it wasn't, you didn't get the essence that it was like a golden city perhaps, and that, that they were just brimming with wealth per se, but the bliss that they cultivated in that town was the wealth. It was that vibration that, it was just pure inspiration from the smallest things, from each other. That's man, and then here comes this energy wanting to not just to absorb and be like, it's just like, you can't just be a part of it. You got to come and try to take over shit, like just completely obliterate the energy, consume it for self, and leave nothing behind. Like that's the energy of this devil card here, and honestly, it's an inside out, outside in vibration, because sometimes when you're in the highest form, it's something that just has to, rear its ugly head and check in and make sure, just to make sure that they still exist. Like, we still out here, right? Fear is still out here, disappointment, anxiety, I don't know, everything you could think of, limitation, you can't go nowhere without us. You don't have no power. Like go away. Just stop it. Stop it. You are not welcomed in this space. Like, stop it. And it's like, no matter how much this energy tries to like, just like bombard its way in, once upon a time, it may have been able to attach, because basically the people of that land were vulnerable because they were so nice. You know what I mean? So they saw strangers and they didn't think stranger danger. They thought, oh, these are new friends. So they invited them in, gave them some flubaroos and, like party with them and everything, showed them all their little secrets, all the secrets of their town, only to be completely sabotaged, betrayed in the end, in the end of it all. And that's the energy here. It's like this devil energy is still looking for a way in, like an open door, a vulnerability, an insecurity, even through your passion, like perhaps to get in through some perversion of your passion. Like, I know she want this, so I'm gonna come like this, or I know she wants him, so I'm gonna come. You know what I mean? It's like any way that it can present itself as what you might, your desires. That's what it is. Like, this ain't nothing. Like I say, ain't nothing wrong with passion. Ain't nothing wrong with desire. But this energy tries to exploit it, come in and present itself as exactly all that you want, and even the appearance of what you need, but more on the want side, and makes itself tantalizing enough for you to actually feel like it's harmless, it's good for you, it's what, it's adding value to this wand that he's bringing is adding value to the 4 that you already have. When this is stable, this is plentiful enough, if you're satisfied with it. Not to say it can't be more than that, but sometimes these energies come through promising some exuberant, return, or I don't even know what to call it. Like, just satisfaction guaranteed is what I'm hearing. When it comes with a great attachment is what I'm trying to say. I guess what I'm ultimately trying to say is just be mindful of this energy coming to disrupt your peace, number one, to tempt you with something that looks like what you would want or what you desire to incorporate into what you already have, or even what you think you need, number two. And number three, to ultimately lure you, is almost like a fishing rod, to lure you in just enough to suck you dry, like literally shift your whole energy vibration. And sometimes it comes through by just the peering in alone. And I've experienced this, where just making their presence known is the point of trying to infiltrate your peace. Like, nothing to really say or do or to offer, but just to kind of like impose the presence is what is satisfying enough to feel like they may have just pierced your force field enough to disrupt the sanctity of it. Be careful of those too, that don't even really have the heart to have a conversation with you, to approach you, honorably or bravely, even not even honorably, because we ain't expecting much from this character, right? But at least having the heart and the nerve to step to you as their authentic energy, bold. No, it's just throwing rocks and hiding your hands, or just sending energy even from a distance is what I'm feeling like. Little subliminals and things of that sort. Like I said, like a fishing rod to have you reeled in, and before you know it, you're all out of character and all out of sorts and agitated and angry, and you don't even know where it came from. It's like, no, stay tucked away in your sweet little village, your sweet little town, eating your sweet little flubaroos. And if that's all you got right now, so be it, because people that are coming around in this season acting like they got, the keys to your ultimate satisfaction, 9 times out of 10, it ain't what it's cracked up to be, or is actually more than what you're bargaining for your own sanctity. It'll be more of a disruption than fulfillment of a desire. And that's not everybody, because, okay, in the highest vibration, but look, this is what it leaves behind in the lowest vibration. So before I even give you the upside, as I like to do, because, I don't even know how I could spin this, but sometimes, that devil D, under the right circumstances, when there's commitment there, when there's honor, when there's trust, when there is a foundation established already beyond the sensuality, beyond the temptation, or I should say before the temptation, before the sensuality to some degree, it's just somebody that's like really a heavy attraction, of course it has a heavy on the lust vibes, but I ain't gonna lie to you, I ain't got a problem with a little lust in my love, as long as I'm down with the polarities, as long as there's balance. This energy here gives me that there's balance here. Like, they ain't raising their hands up in victory for nothing. So I'm not disparaging the idea of desire and the delectable, the delectability of life, if that's even a word. We want some of that too. We want that. We want all of that, as a matter of fact. But you gotta try the spirit, and if it's heavy-handed on that up front, and it's, there's little substance at the foundation, there's not really much engagement, you can't even hardly have a conversation with this person and really truly be your authentic self, or feel like you're getting the authentic them, feel like whatever it is that's being presented to you is pure, clean, there's no, nothing under the rock, nothing behind the curtain. You can sense that in your energy. You honestly can, especially if you're not as naive as, say, the good folks of the good lands were in the story. They weren't, but I bet you after that experience that they had, they knew how to protect their land. If the story were to continue, they wouldn't be so eager to be open to outside energies moving forward, And for some of us, we've had the experience of that devil D, where you know how sensational it is to the senses, how tantalizing it is to the senses, but you also know what it does to your spirit, what it does to the dissonance within your soul, how distracting it can be, how it can completely throw you off course when you're focused in a prosperous and productive sense. And what it leaves behind, which is what? Look at him. He in the bed crying like that morning after, where you like, damn, I wish I wouldn't have done that. That wasn't even worth it. You know what I mean? And it's like, don't get me wrong. I ain't had too many experiences like that where it's like, damn, I wish I hadn't done that the day after. But certainly, like, in hindsight down the road, it's like, okay, I'm not necessarily like completely against, I'm not downplaying, or I'm trying to find a word for it, not disparaging, but I'm not disposing of the experience as something regretful in any of them for me personally. But would I do it now? No. You know what I mean? Same vibe as in the story. It's like there's certain energies that I'm already hip to at this point in time that would have been tantalizing back in my heyday, to take the adventure without a second thought, to just see where the road leads. And most often it was a fun ride. It was a fun experience. And I don't mean that in any perverted way holistically. I'm talking about just experiences even in general, being more adventurous, and because that's the expression of the devil with the Ace of Wands as well, like just flying off the seat of your pants, more or less, letting adventure carry you away, not really considering the consequences beforehand, or the cautions, or even the red flags that you see while you're about to cross that threshold, all of that good stuff. It's like, well, the experience is worth the value. You know what I mean? That's a Sagittarius thing, if nothing else. You may not be able to relate, but our wanderlust is almost incurable to some degree, in relationship and out of relationship, that will go along for the ride just to say we saw the end of the rainbow. So that's me, but don't take my advice, because I got a different, my cosmic makeup is a little bit different. But even still, with that being my come from celestially, quite honestly, now with the wisdom and the experience that I've had, that's the other thing though, when we learn from our experiences in the highest vibration, we usually don't repeat it. It might be some new adventure that carries us away, or we're curious about, but we usually don't repeat the same mistakes over and over, because we've been able to see the big picture of where that led us, where we were accountable, where we were vulnerable, all that good stuff. So I'm thankful for that wisdom too. But now, my energy is like almost barricaded in a way where it's like, if it ain't looking like this, if it ain't feeling like this, if it's not projecting itself to be that honorably, honestly, purely, I'm not really interested in the adventure. I'm not in that space and time. So although, and trust me, it's not that have been short of the temptation. I've definitely come across a few tempting offers in my day since I've been on this vibration, more or less. But it's still, when you really weigh it up, whether it's like in intimacy or just as simple as the possibility of a business idea or an idea that even sparks up within you that you might feel incited to just jump out and do or just express without perhaps putting the right pieces in place first. I don't do that anymore. Experience is the best teacher, because ultimately it just leaves disappointment. So all that to say, guard gently. Yeah, look at this shit. Guard your energy. Yeah, but look, here's the strength card. Because of the disappointments that honestly that I may or may not have brought upon my own self by all the reasons why I've just explained, it has strengthened my will. It's allowed me to transcend the ego and the pride of even the experiences themselves and how I would want to spin them to suit my narrative, and instead just be plain out real, like as real as I can be with you, that yeah, there's some things that I absolutely brought upon myself, as in the good people, the good folks of the Flubaroos, just wanted to be in connection or communication or being curious or being way too open and, willing to share my energy in any way, shape, and form. I'm talking about, seriously, even business ideas, just being so free about my visual expression that I want to share what I see, and I want other people to see the vision too, and I want to incorporate them in my ideas, and how can I use what they have and what I have, and we come together and build something even greater. And it's like I went through that phase as well, telling the world about my vision, and ultimately it didn't necessarily leave me in the best position. As a matter of fact, it left me vulnerable to things being swept up under my feet and reclaimed and repurposed as some other idea somewhere else, But like I said, and here's that right here, little, and see what I'm saying about it depends on how you sow. Me sowing into collaborations before time, like prematurely, before I had legal protection in place, before I even had the vision itself solidified to a point where it was impenetrable. Like you couldn't even really recreate it if you try, which is still the case, because even those that think they may have copied my energy, like it's still not my signature. So it's still probably to this day isn't yielding what they thought it was going to yield, because it's something different when the vision comes from you and it's your passion, like that pure passion. As I said, now it's coming a different spin, that pure passion with the Ace of Wands. Even the most diabolical interference, can't, like I said, as soon as they got into the land that they wanted to harvest on, everything started to kind of depreciate in value. It wasn't given what it had gave for the ones that were the original inhabitants of the land, because they had the covenant with that land to cultivate it, and the others had the intention to just devastated pretty much, and so the land itself wasn't responsive. And that's a lot of times what happens even in the practical sense with visions and ideas and even relationships, if we can talk about it. Okay, people that thinking they stealing some energy from you, i.e. a man or a woman, and then when they get with that, it ain't even what they thought it was going to be, because you ain't them and they ain't you, and it wasn't meant to be in that way. So the relationship that was supposed to be built on, this big sweep, or I don't even know, like, what do you call it? What did I say it was? This conquering of, I don't even know what to call it. Conquering of a connection, to put it mildly, real karmic shit. Ultimately, when people would just be trying to get up in your energy by any means necessary, they want to mess with the men you mess with, the women you mess with. They want to keep you from having pure connect. having experiences such as this, so they infiltrate that energy. And this could be platonically or for intimate purposes. Friends that may even be jealous and want to infiltrate the possibilities of your harmony and your peace and your balance. It never quite yields the fruit that they wanted to yield, even with their best collaborative effort, their best plan of action, their best tactics. It never yields. It never gives. It never gives, because it's not supposed to. Yeah. So there is that if you have been vulnerable on the side, okay, if you've been on the side of attack and look back out again, or you've been on the side of attack in particular from community or from energies outside of yourself that ultimately wanted to monopolize or manipulate your pure life force, you really don't even have to do much, that the universe hasn't already done for you at this point, because they're reaping the harvest that they deserve. This one little pentacle for all this expended energy is exactly what's deserving, if they're even lucky, because for some, they don't even deserve that much, and they're not going to get that much. You know what I mean? So there's that. So be not dismayed if you, you, like I said, if your territory's been, look at that, infiltrated, one pentacle, infiltrated in some unfavorable way, you felt like your supreme waters were tainted. This is what's due to you, materially or energetically, however you splice it. And when that's destined and divined by universal order, there's really nothing that people can do. Like, they can try to attack, and they can try to capture is not the word. It's like when you take over a territory, when you try to occupy. There it is, occupy. Ooh, and that's something different, right? But look, ultimately, it leads to a dead end. When they try to occupy your space, occupy your energy, occupy your fortune, your gifts, your estate, your legacy, your ideas, like literally your life to some degree. Some people have been so desperate as to literally want to walk in your shoes, like theirs weren't good enough. And the universe don't honor that. Ain't no honor in that. Ain't no honor for thieves. Not just among them, but no honor for them either. So it's never going to be magnified. Now, the thing about it is that once those like the Badland people infiltrated the space, unfortunately, the good folks still had to bear the brunt of that vibration that was, resident in their land, again, occupying their space. So even though they were entitled to the prosperity of the land as it was, until they were able to, well, we never got to that part. We just got to Rudy saying, stop it, right? But until they were able to expel that energy, there was really it would really be hard for them to reclaim the land and rejuvenate it to its purest form. And that's the importance of, look, eight of Wands here. And that's the importance of keeping your inner sanctum pure and secure, not feeling obligated to let anyone in that hasn't proven themselves to be kin. Kin in every sense, in the creative sense, in the collaborative sense, and in an intimate sense, in a friendly way, and we're talking about your energetic force field, not necessarily your home, but consider in a practical way. You got to be careful with that too, about not just what the people that you let in your space, whether they mean you well or not. It's about the synergy of the vibration, because they could, by their standards, could mean all the well projectively that they know to mean, if that makes sense. But if it's a mismatch with where you are, it doesn't matter, because it'll taint your space, So that goes for family, friends. It's like, especially during the holidays, when you feel a certain obligation, like, oh, well, it's the holidays, it's, love, peace, joy, all that good stuff. And it's like, yeah, most certainly. But if you can't maintain that vibration in your home purely, when people come and when they leave, then what's it all worth, really and truly, for the rest of your year to be turned upside down on account of that engagement? Even accepting certain gifts or accepting certain entities or outside energies that are not, that may be attached to a force that's not in agreement in one way, shape, or form, or I should say alignment in one way, shape, or form. And only you get to determine that. It's not for the outside force itself to dictate whether or not you should be open, or that in itself is a infiltration or an occupation for people to force their energy upon you as if they're entitled to be attached in one way, shape, or form, especially when you've set a boundary otherwise. This is that force of energy, like, no, well, I'm going to send it. Well, I'm going to call. Well, I'm going to show up. Well, I'm going to, it's like, but you've already asked. You already said, no, I'm not doing Christmas at my house this year, or I don't want to have a holiday gathering. And then people still just show up anyway because they just feel like, well, it's the holidays. So, family does that, especially in our community. We can definitely have really, janky boundaries in a certain sort of way. And we don't do well with respecting one another until, like I said, then that incitement of anger comes and people bring you out of character and then want to call you crazy because you just enforcing what you asked for the courtesy of in the first place. This is the adverse energy of the negative energy of that's going to keep pushing anyway. So sometimes you have to get in your strength and exercise your power of force to say, no, that's not what it's going to be. You're not going to bring me on this cycle, bringing me back into an energy that I've disconnected from, or that I just don't choose to be in connection to at this time, just on account of what is satisfying for you, what feels good to you. Then why should I be sacrificed in that way? And people will do that if you let them. Now, the upside of this is the spirit, I would say, even the support system in the Eight of Wands of energy in your favor that's going to help you hold it down, help you hold the house down, keep things protected, give you the strength and the will to respond and react in a way that is graceful to as graceful as it needs to be, but still with affirmity, if that's a word, affirmation to some degree. And I guess I am saying this because it's the holidays, and like I said, people take different liberties. Oh, so like I was saying, like when you're willing to have your house open for the holidays, and it's like you can't invite this relative without inviting them, where you feel that way, that spirit of obligation, where you don't want to invite this one and not invite this one. So here you are now, again, sacrificing your auric field, because you don't want anybody to feel bad. You don't want to offend anyone or hurt anybody's feelings. So now you got that aunt or that cousin that comes over and that just energetically is just disrespectful to some degree. Like, she don't even really mean to be. It's just what she does. It's like she may not even be saying nothing to you, but just the attitude, the frequency that she's on is just, it could just suck the life out of the room, And it's like, who has time for that energetically? Nobody has time for that. You it's only going to be up to you to affirm strong boundaries. Yeah, and you've worked hard. Look at this. You've worked hard to not be kept captive like a prisoner in your own home, just waiting for the tower to fall on things that you had already said were not in alignment with you, but feeling like you gotta take it anyway because of the energy that, because of the presenter or the the person that's offering it one way, shape, or form. Like, no, definitely break that mold of obligation in this season, if never before, so that, because it's too much coming in. Look at this Ace of Cups, and like I said, that Ace of Wands is where we let off, and who was peeking around the corner, but the devil energy just looking to snatch it up or siphon all of the vitality from it. You know, people will do that if you let them. The Empress card. Who's the queen and king of your castle? You know? Who's the head of your household, so to speak? And that being energetically and physically, actually. Be unapologetic about protecting your assets and the energy that this is you having built, working on yourself, practically speaking. And people will try to hit you with the nostalgia. Like I said, it was Christmas. Oh, family is everything. And, okay? Like, this is your treasure box. Your energetic field is your treasure box. And just like the good folks of the Flubaroos, your cash crop, is your energy. You gonna let people just come in and pluck one off without paying, or without any barter exchange, without adding any value. You won't even cultivate the soil. You won't even water the garden. Like, you just want to eat up all the plants that I've been working for, and for the purposes of your own fortune. Nah, that's a no for me, dog. And the Eight of Cups is the walk away, because like I said, sometimes from even the most intimate exchanges, whether it be relational or platonic or professional, whatever it may be, sometimes you've invested all that you can that is of reasonable value into a situation or into a person, place, or thing. And when you find that exchange or that return is not reciprocal to your expectations, okay? What you require, what you desire, what you feel is fair, not the other person, because people will shortchange you and give you what they feel you deserve. It's up to you to determine your value and what is welcome in your space and what is not. And if it's not upholding this high standard of value, as in now this is now 3 aces that have been out. The Ace of Cups, the Ace of Pentacles on the vibration of the Ace of Wands purely now, then why should you feel obligated to stick around or to just take whatever they're given, or to invite them over just because it's Christmas, or to go there just because it's like, no, this is your treasure. You have to protect it. It must be protected, because when you allow it to be infiltrated, and here they go again, nostalgia for nostalgia's sake, playing on your heartstrings, but not really exchanging the same level of intimacy or love or even compassion and care. It's like trying to beat you down with the logistics of how you should feel. It makes logical sense that because it's this and because it's that, this is how you should respond. When sometimes your emotional intelligence tells you otherwise. Sometimes you don't have an explanation for why you don't want to be connected a certain way. You just don't feel good about it. You're not feeling good while you're in the act. You don't feel good afterwards. The thought of it doesn't excite you or make you feel happy or joyful to do, be, or have, whatever the case may be. And sometimes, like I said, it's like no fault of anyone else's. It's just your intention and something that you have to learn to honor within your own being. Otherwise, you do put yourself in the vulnerability of heartbreak and disappointment every single time, because you didn't listen to your own intuition, your own intelligence, emotional intelligence. Sometimes there is no logic to back it up. It just is what it is. And everybody doesn't feel like that's good enough of an explanation or reasoning. But again, it's not up to them to feel like that. If you don't understand, or you're not in alignment with my perspective, that's okay. It's no love lost, really. But that doesn't mean that I have to accept you in, or I have to sacrifice my own security or sound mind or spirit to make you feel like you are accepted. No. I don't know why I'm like very, very adamant about this right now. Like, no, more burden than necessary. That's taking on other people's burdens. Yeah, because, you know, whether they feel sad about it or not, that their offer is not well received, or their intentions are, yeah, but look at it though. You know, it's like, you be well within your rights to say no thank you. Like, you don't owe it to anybody to sacrifice your stability, your security in spirit or in truth, for the sake of feeling sorry for others or wanting to lighten the load for others. That then becomes your cross to bear. And I'm just sorry, like, once upon a time, that's what we did. But we don't do that anymore. Once you've ascended to a certain level, like, you can't even afford to do it. That Five of Pentacles becomes your Five of Pentacles, and more so in the spirit than in the natural. You know, literally taking on someone else's energetic debt on account of feeling, you know, it's like when you feel like every person on the street, you owe it to give them money. Not always. Sometimes you giving people money, like, you don't know what they do with the money. And this is no shade, because I give a lot, as a matter of fact, but it's within my own discernment. If I don't feel it, I don't give it. And I don't care what the circumstance looks like. If something in my spirit says, nah, just give them a kind word, or have a good day, or whatever. Or if I don't have it to give, I don't feel sorry. You know what I mean? I don't feel bad, because at the end of the day, you don't really know what vibration you're connecting to, especially within a stranger, let alone within your own, you know, your own intimate quarters, or your family, or your friends, or people that project them, you know, present themselves to be so. You know what I mean? You really don't know, literally, with the Eight of Swords, how one decision can trap you in a position that you never intended to be in, that is not even destined for you. You know, that's not even due to you. And in the time that we're in right now, first of all, people are hella greedy when it comes to energy. There's a lot of vampires out here, quite honestly, because they're feeling low on their own sources. You know, it's like a drought of vitality that people can suck on without consequence. So they're like bloodthirsty out here to some degree. And that's what this energy is giving me here. That once upon a time, people were able to just store up energy on reserve, like just holding it, you know, on the back burner for a rainy day almost, or just like a refrigerator full, a pantry full of energy right here. Like, oh, I need such and such to do this. Oh, let me take that off the shelf. Oh, let me go get her energy. I'll take that off the shelf, you know? And it's like now the well is running dry for a lot of people. First of all, this blockage is also the barricade of what people can't infiltrate anymore, because the vibration is being raised to such a degree. Like I said, like, you've had your experiences of heartbreak and disappointment, toxicity, and trauma enough to erect boundaries that are not just healthy, but actually inhibiting for outside forces. Like the good folks of the Flubaroos, they ain't going to be infiltrated the same way twice, now knowing what they know. That's how it is now in the land, especially for a lot of high vibrational beings that just have learned the value of their essence. Like the Ace of Cups is your vitality. The Ace of Pentacles is the value of it all. You know, the gift that you are to the universe and from the universe. You're not just going to be throwing that away on anything and anybody anymore, just because they stake claim in it. You know, they feel entitled to it. It doesn't work like that anymore, unless you allow it to, and then that's your cross to bear right here. Because like I said, this is people trying to fill up their pantry again, stock up on what's been depleted, or what they are deficient in their own selves, and they will leave you high and dry in the interim. In the end, I should say. That's too many. Yeah, but that was the Seven of Swords. Still, kill, destroy. Let's just get a couple more, because ain't nobody got time for this energy. It's literally bothering my stomach. Like, I don't even want to be here on this vibe right now. You know, it's like, come on. Stay out of my energy, and you won't have to hear this, like stay out of my energy. And I mean, I don't know, maybe the adverse forces, like I said, like I was saying with the devil card, just peek their head in real quick to see if they could get a rise out of you, if they can infiltrate your space. It's not the infiltration you're looking for, though. It's like it's a fool's journey right now, because you're only going to be more and more depleted. I'm not going to be sacrificed because I refuse to be. I'm not hanging myself upside down on nobody's cross at all, and I don't care what the community desires to have or what balance it presents to create for everyone else. If it's not a balance for me at this point in time, it's a no. This is like literally that energy that I was talking about, where you don't necessarily feel obligated to give to every person on the street. You may not even have it to give to every person on the street. So what you gonna do? Go take out your last dime, per se, so that you can give to someone that you don't know and whom you don't know what they're gonna do with it? Maybe you will, and in some cases I have definitely given my last dime to people that I felt guided and incited to do so. But it's like a different discernment. This is about having a different enlightenment now. Having been hung upside down in a stagnant position, perhaps to have learned your lesson enough to know exactly what balance and equal give and take looks like. And it's not always money. Sometimes it's just a prayer that you can offer for someone over their situation that can stretch beyond the $5 that you might give them in that moment. They might go smoke that up, but your prayer might actually heal their soul, So it's even the same when it comes to close quarters. It's like people have their own motives and their intentions for how they feel entitled to what you have, who you are, what you have to offer, what you exude, or you know what I mean? Like what you expel in some way, shape, or form, your vitality. But in the end, if they don't find that value within themselves, it's like vampiristic in this regard. Look at it. He almost looks like Dracula right here. It's like if they can't find value in who they are, where they are, and how they get it, just without any external addition, they'll never be satisfied. It'll always be spilt cups. They'll always be on a fool's journey for more of you because they haven't found the satisfaction within themselves. You will always be drained dry, hanging upside down because people haven't found that sufficiency and that satisfaction for themselves. Who signing up for that? Who is signing up for that in this day and age? That is most certainly a fool's journey, and I don't mean the new beginning kind. No way. All right, one more card and we out of here. And it must be something urgent about it for me to be so passionate in this moment. Yeah, because look, that's all they doing is watching and waiting for their opportunity to slide on in, for you to be so depleted. Yeah, for you to be confused about where you are, disillusioned, like, oh, well, maybe I should because it's Christmas, or maybe they really need me, or maybe, they didn't mean it like that, or they just being them, so it's okay. I could do it for a day, or I could, no. I'm sorry. No. I'm surprised the damn Queen of Swords ain't out here right now, but it's probably the Strength card that's coming through right now. Like, you got to have the will to say no. Like, enough is enough. Nobody's going to keep on signing up for their own trauma over and over again to end up in the same place. No. Stop it, as a matter of fact, is the message. Stop. Just stop. You stop doing this to yourself and wondering why you're waking up in that Nine of Swords feeling depleted and tired when it's all said and done. And you present a boundary in your auric field that says, stop it. Enough is enough. Do not enter. Do not pass this point. No, you're not welcome. Not at this time. I'm sorry, move on, keep going. Whatever the case may be, like, I'm telling you right now, if there's any contemplation about it, as far, yeah, because look, this is what the intention is, to leave you depleted so that they, is that the right? Yeah, that's the last card. So that they can prosper off of your value. That's the only intention. And I'm not just talking about money, although there's a lot of that going around too, but it's about your energy. This is how they came, this is how they want to leave. With everything that you have, plus some, so that they can go be the kingpin or a queen pin somewhere else. Disconnected from you, though, mind you. And then when they deplete that energy in spirit and in truth, they'll be back again, because it's never lasting when you didn't cultivate it yourself. Like I said, with the good folks and the bad folks, they came in with the intention to deplete the land, to desecrate it. The land then desecrated itself, it depreciated. So they had used up all the resource, and then we're trying to slave the people to work better, work faster, to build more crops. But it's like, it doesn't last, because you are not the inhabitor of this land. You are not connected to this fortune. You're not connected to this union, this relationship, this gift, this blessing, this business idea, this vision. If it's not yours, it's not going to live in your possession. It's not going to thrive, for sure, in your possession. So and it's on for these individuals that are on more of the aggressive side. It's not really up to them. And in the one regard, as I'm saying, it's like, well, they just doing what they do. It is like they're just trying to get it how they live, or how you live, as I like to say lately. But it's not really up to them to create a boundary, or to respect the boundary that you haven't established for yourself. It's not really up to them, because they haven't created one for themselves to be able to self-contain or restrain from taking advantage or abusing or interfering or occupying space where they're not holistically welcome to do so. They obviously can't adhere to that level of self-control and will for themselves. So you can't really leave that responsibility up to any outside force. And I'm talking about every way, shape, and form, from most intimately to universally and everywhere in between. You have to set your own value, your own standard, your own measure of energetic force, your own meter of energetic force of which you want to connect with, invest with, or be in connection to, and the will to regulate that system, consistently, as a matter of fact, never ceasing, because these people won't ever cease to continue to try to push the envelope or push your buttons or push your boundaries. Because like I said, until they learn to grow their own flubarus in their own garden, wherever it is that they came from or wherever it is they call home, they will never be satisfied with their harvest. They're going to always need what you have, and you will become an unlimited source and resource for them until you are no more at all. That's the only end game and end result, until you literally have no more to give. Now, whose responsibility is it to make sure that that doesn't happen? Who's regulating this here? No. Enough is enough. You ain't confused. You're not disillusioned. You know what, at this point in time, anybody that's been aspiring to a level of ascension and a higher mind beyond what they've experienced is very clear about the energies in their lives, having been and presently, what they're capable of, what they're willing to offer, what can be expected at this point in time, and your own reaction, like your triggers and reactions and responses to those frequencies. Only you can moderate that, and ain't no confusion about it no more. The dust is cleared, the clouds have cleared. Your energetic force, by way of that I think the Queen of Cups came up, right? If I'm not mistaken. But your energetic force has already revealed that to you just by way of how you feel before, during, and after such exchanges. You already know what time it is. Anything that you try to tell yourself at this point is you diluting your own reality. You lying to yourself about what you've already discovered for it to be. When it really feels like this, but you're trying to project the possibility of it being like that. It ain't never going to be like that. It ain't never going to be like that. Not until this energy is transmuted to see the value, take its own full journey and see the value of itself in the highest vibration, and then be so detached from the dependency of your energy that it's willing to work on itself, because it's worked on itself, as a matter of fact, and cultivating its own value. It's never going to be this without your investment, or not even investment at this point, because it's not even willfully, like, what do you call it? Like investment or extortion. That's what it is. An extortion of energy at this point in time. And you get to set the parameters. You get to set the security system in place in every way, shape, and form to make sure that the value of you, your treasure chest, is locked and sealed. And only those that have a certain access code determined by you, giving access, by you particularly, are willing to take part. I just keep saying, no, it's a no. Don't be like them flubaroos, them flubaroo folks, leaving yourself open to attacks even through this holiday season. If you don't feel good about it, if it don't look good, don't smell good, don't seem good, it didn't feel good when you was with it and when you left, and when you don't even feel excited about it, that's a telltale sign right there that it's probably something that you need to reconsider before you agree or submit yourself to an agreement or alignment with it. And you are well within your rights to do so unapologetically. Sorry, not sorry. All right, so anyway, that's all that I have for today. You guys take care out there. And until next time, as always, I leave you with peace.